The last thing the left actually wants is free and open debate because their ideas are awful and they don't stand up to scrutiny. So, of course, the only option is to completely shut it down, and they use some pretty violent tactics often to do that. And what we're going to see today, of course, is Michael Knowles actually addressing the same situation where he completely owns a supposed professor at a college university. But before we get to these clips, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Hello. You cited a list of statistics in your talk which you claim support the idea that illegal immigrants are dangerous or criminals.
I cited a number of statistics that show that they commit federal crimes at a significantly higher rate than native-born Americans. Yeah.
Okay. So what role do you think that structural racism and inherent bias has to play in those statistics?
I don't think that the people who enter this country illegally are forced to do so by some sort of systemic racism. There's no systemic American racist going down to El Salvador and saying, you better get up and sneak into the United States. And there's nobody in the United States who forces people who come here illegally to commit crimes. I think the premise of this question is actually quite offensive, though it's a popular assumption, which is that illegal aliens somehow don't have free will. It's the assumption that illegal aliens are somehow morally uneducated. They have no sense of right and wrong. They have no ability to control their emotions and their impulses. This is obviously profoundly racist and not true. We have free will. We have the ability to do what we want to do. This is why, by the way, the majority of Hispanic people in the United States and Hispanic voters oppose illegal immigration. The races are exactly the same. The ethnicity is exactly the same. The question of crime is different because race does not determine your criminality.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that people of color are more likely to be convicted of crimes unfairly than white people.
They're more likely to commit certain crimes, that's true. I don't think that's because of their race. I think it's because of aspects of their free will and perhaps of culture.
That's not true. I'm talking about...
That is true. I mean, what I just said is true.
I'm not quite sure where you're getting your statistics from, and you choose
from the federal government.
You choose to interpret them in your...
Bureau of Justice Statistics and Department of Homeland Security.
Can I talk? Is that
well,
okay?
you said you didn't know where I got my statistics from, and I'm telling you where I get them from.
Well, it would have been nice if you could have let me finish my sentence. Anyway,
well, I was answering your question.
You are using your statistics for your own political agenda, and that's your prerogative.
I'm citing statistics because they're true.
I'm talking about the fact that I'm faculty here. I also support our protester in the back.
What do you support specifically? Do you think that anti-immigrant rhetoric is violent free speech?
Yes, because of the reasons
you think that
I'm
speech is
about.
Violence?
No, I think that...
That's what that sign says.
The conversation that you're having is oppressive.
So I am oppressing people by what I'm doing. So I am exerting violence on people by my speech. That's what the sign says, and that's what you just said.
It contributes to...
And the protester is saying that's exactly what I'm doing, and she's saying that's exactly what her sign means. So that means that you, a faculty member at an American public university, paid for by taxpayer dollars, are conflating speech with violence.
Yes. Speech can be violent. What you are saying contributes to systemic racism in this country. It means that my students of color are pulled over and accused of stealing a car when they did not.
I'm not pulling anybody over for stealing any cars. I see many people of many different races in this room. They all seem to be doing just fine. I don't think any of them have felt violence because they listened to a lecture on basic facts about our immigration system. The question was, have I asked people in this room if they've felt as though some violence has been committed on them? No, I haven't asked, because no violence has been committed on you. Because violence is not a subjective feeling. Violence is an objective fact. I can objectively gauge whether or not someone has become violent. The other day, I was at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. Some protester attacked me with some weird chemical. That was an objective act of violence. But somebody disagreeing with me, such as some people in this room are doing, are not committing violence on me. And I would say to you, as a faculty member at a taxpayer-funded university, this is the foundation of liberal education. If you cannot understand that there is a difference between speech and violence, you don't understand anything that undergirds the liberal arts or liberal education. And that is a real shame. And I say this with all respect and with great distress for our universities. If our teachers don't understand the difference between ideas and violence, between speech and violence, then they are in no position to educate the next generation of Americans.
I've been to art school for 8 years. I understand liberal arts extremely well. I am an artist, and I fully
don't think you do. I'm sure you've been to art school for 8 years, but you do not understand the liberal arts.
Holding up a sign which says "Disrupting speech is fascism." You are
No. The sign says that one, disrupting speech.
Yeah.
But yes,
you understand?
Yes, these people who are yelling are disrupting my speech, and I agree, it's fascism.
You're interrupting me, and I think that you need to look up violence in the dictionary or expand your idea of violence.
Violence is not speech. Let me say it again. Violence is not speech. Let me say it for all the professors in the room. Violence is not speech. Speech is not violence.
What a great point to end the Q&A on, right? Violence is not speech, and speech is not violence. Now, of course, we do know there's limitations on the First Amendment, like you can't actually incite violence. You can't actually make credible threats. You can't actually defame people. So yes, there are limits. But when we're talking about speech, the left and the right have different interpretations. The left says that if you make mean statements and if you deliver facts they don't agree with, or facts that maybe certain groups don't like, that is actually violence. Okay, but the right just says, no, we're actually just simply stating facts and you just don't like them. That is not violence. That's called a conversation, sometimes even a debate. And that debate and conversation is actually how we come to understandings about topics. It's how we actually generate new ideas. But of course, the left has been saying for an awful long time now that speech is violence. Now, why in the world would they do that? Why would they want to frame it that way? Because when they say that you're committing violence, i.e. through your speech that they disagree with, that gives them the right to do violence against you in some type of weird mental self-defense. Okay, so by them actually come out and repeatedly saying that speech is violence, now all of a sudden they're justifying themselves taking violent actions against anyone they disagree with. Now, who in the world does this sound like? Oh, I don't know, possibly the brown shirts and the black shirts, right? That led to some real good social movements, didn't it? All right, but we're seeing that same thing happening now with Antifa. Okay, Antifa goes out and supposedly peacefully protests, and yet somehow reporters who are out there actually documenting their violent acts and people who go out there just to simply have conversations end up getting assaulted, end up getting injured, and in some cases end up getting murdered. All right, that is the speech is violence concept the left really wants to push because now they feel justified in their horrible actions. And that, of course, is exactly what violence is. It's a physical act. But according to people on the left, we have to expand the idea of what violence is. Yeah, just like we had to expand the idea of what gender is, just like we had to expand the idea of what immigration is. They constantly want to move the goalposts to fit into their progressive agenda. And to you and me, it doesn't make perfect sense because words actually have meaning. Laws actually have meaning. Actions actually have meaning, and speech actually has meaning. But don't tell that to the radical left because their idea of free speech is shutting down everything they don't agree with. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.